Let's see how this works out. Let's see if my internet can handle a YouTube live feed at the workbench. So as soon as a couple people log on, we'll get into something that I think needs to stop, something that is damaging the knife community in general, and we'll talk about something that I noticed in comments from the knife show. So who is here? Let's hear you guys all. Coffee in my beard, no mustache. Let's bring up live chat. There we go. Mr. Thorny. So there's 80 y'all. We'll go ahead and we'll start with this. So I woke up, had a headache this morning, did a bunch of stuff, Mr. Moore. So I was doing a bunch of stuff. I want to get this out and then I'll get into the comment stuff. And it's, I guess is it afternoon here yet? I don't know. It's chilly. That storm blew through and it's chilly. So this is what I was watching, and I very rarely watch knife stuff. You guys know that, but it happened to just pop up in my feed. So there was some clips from Forged in Fire. And I don't watch that show. I don't, because I don't even have cable anymore. But the thing that I kept seeing in every of those links, there was one word that they kept saying. And it was weapon. Your weapon, your weapon, your weapon. Here's the thing, guys. That's the biggest problem with the knife community. And it's one of the things that has propagated that is causing problems for knife makers. So, let me explain, let me pontificate a little bit. So, the knife show in Vegas. The knife show in Vegas was awesome. And I talked to Todd Rexford. I like Todd. I like Todd a lot. He's a good guy. But then I started seeing Todd commented about something that he was going to not go to these shows anymore. And so he stayed at the Wind. I stayed at the Bally's, which is where the show was. But he stayed at the Wind because you got to remember, there was like 3 shows going on. So Todd might have been there for Blade and then TKI, or not Blade, Shot and then TKI and some other stuff. So when he tried to put stuff, he had to, like they told him he couldn't have knives on their property, not even in his truck. And there were guys that said that their rooms got inspected and knife cases got confiscated and things like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it all stems back to the misconception that this tool is a weapon. And I'm going to reiterate something I said in a video a long time ago. A weapon serves specifically one purpose. A sword is a weapon. I can't use a sword as a hammer. However, a knife can serve multiple purposes. It is the most versatile tool I own. I have a whole toolbox. You know what tool I'm usually reaching for? I'm reaching for a knife. They're a tool. They can perform multiple tasks. I can use it for work. I can use it to make things. I can use it for things like that. It's pretty slicey. But, so, I got news for you. I use a knife for a lot of things. A Beretta 9mm does not make a very good hammer. It does not make a good screwdriver, and it sure as fuck can't make anything with it. So by that definition, that's a weapon. A sword is a weapon. You can't use a sword really for much anything except its express purpose as a weapon. Where this comes into play is things like what happened in Vegas. Things like this get grouped into the same bracket as an M16, an M4, and you know, AK-47 because it's a weapon, but it's not. I got news for you. I carry a knife all the time, and it is not what I would reach for if someone was breaking into my house. Now, there's some exceptions to that, and we've talked about that. This is getting up there into the exceptions for that. This knife, I mean, it's really not much of an EDC thing. I do like it. Just did a video about it. Really, really have warmed to this knife. There's some knives that just really don't serve any other purpose. But the fact is that listing something that's a tool as a weapon causes so much gray area and so many problems that it's going to continue to be things to where we're going to go the same direction as Europe. Because I got news for you. Mass shootings, at this point in America, trying to take away somebody's guns is not going to stop mass shootings. Because I got some words of advice for you. Gun control will never work in this country because criminals, by default, are going to break the law. And if you make it a law, that everybody has to turn in their guns. The only people that are actually going to do it are law-abiding citizens who are now sheep. There should be no knife laws. So a knife, a tool can be used in a pinch as a fucking weapon. I got news for you. I said this in a video before. If I got a hammer in my hand, I am 6 foot 3 inches tall and I weigh 245 pounds. And if I'm swinging a hammer at you with these hands, you're fucked. It has went from the realm of tool into the realm of weapon real quick, but it's not exact. It has other purposes. Crowbar's a tool. If I'm swinging that fucking thing, I'm gonna do some damage. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Do you see where I'm going with this? But I can take said crowbar and I can go out and I can use it for a useful purpose. If I can open up crates, things like that. I can take that hammer, I can pound on a chisel and I make things out of wood. I can take a chisel and stab somebody, but I could also easily go back and use that chisel to plane out some wood. And yes, David, I did. I haven't even opened the box yet. And therein lies the problem. So yes, Forged in Fire has opened up the knife world to a lot of people that normally wouldn't see it. But it's also stigmatized what knife makers do, what knife carriers do. Something's on fire somewhere. What people that carry knives do. It stigmatizes something that is truly innocuous and turns it into something that now will get the attention of lawmakers, security at hotels, and things like that, because they have taken something and screwed it up. If I, like I said, I can take a screwdriver and I can go and I can build a desk with the proper screws and like the proper pieces, but I can also take that said screwdriver and I can stick it in your fucking liver. Any tool can be turned into an improvised weapon. Ask the guys in Korea and Vietnam about how good an entrenching tool winds up being as a fucking impromptu hatchet, to the point where they actually cut serrations on the sides of most of the entrenching tools. So it could be used as a weapon. You see where I'm going with this? The show it's silly in like, that's a weapon. That's a weapon. I had a chick try to kill me with a frying pan one time. So, you know, do I like the fact that that show exists? And it has opened up the knife world to people who normally be like, that's actually pretty fucking cool. I think their tests are kind of silly. I think the way they do it is kind of silly. Their judging criteria is kind of silly. But it has done a lot for the knife community, the knife world. It opened up doors and avenues into things that most people in the knife world wouldn't. But sometimes, along with some good, comes a little damage. So now I gotta trim this. It's getting bad. Let's see. What do we got here? So, I mean, there's my rant. I get off my soapbox. I think my wife just pulled in. So I'm pretty sure that this is a custom knife factory. I've sharpened one of these before. I'm pretty sure it's a custom knife factory. It is. It says CKF right there because I'm an idiot. Welcome to my world, guys. Mike's a big dummy. You can ask my wife. She'll tell you. This is so smooth. Chris, your knives are all done. I just got to send you the remainder because, oh my God, dude. Some of those half-face blades were rough. And there's still one that's got a spot that I just couldn't do much else with. So, those knives were not meant to look pretty. Those knives were meant to just be busted on. This knife does have a little bit of blade play. Have I got a screwdriver? Yeah, I got a screwdriver, because guess what I got? I got a multi-tool that has a knife on it. Is that a weapon? No, it's a tool. Fuck, guys, I'm tired. I had a headache this morning. I actually got some sharpening done. I'm almost caught up. I have 2 straight razors to do and some other stuff going on. And I just got notification that Matt at Armitage Carry has finished my sheaths. And I paid him last night, even though I'm fucking damn near flat broke. That trip tapped me. Oh yeah, I got the Karambit. Watch the video, bro. It was dangerous. Yeah, my wife is home. Is that you, babe? So anyway, now I'm off my she's playing with stuff. Now I'm off my soapbox about knives as weapons, which I've done that video before. But It just irritates. It irritates me, and the people that are on that show know better. The people on that show should be setting themselves up as ambassadors for the knife world, not adding to the misinformation and things like that. Matter of fact, you know what? I need to send an email to them at History Channel and see what they think. So, oh, it's not in a tripod. Just using my pop socket, setting my phone up here. We'll put it that way. So, no, it's a silly question, David. You know better. I don't care how good the customer is, they don't get any insider information about what's going on at Fair & Forge, because that's an easy way for me to lose access to the shop. It really is. But, so I posted some stuff to Reddit, and I had one guy comment, and he took it down after I talked to him. He's like, well, how can you say you're doing hand sharpening? You've got the same Edge Pro stones up that I use on my Edge Pro. I was like, watch my YouTube videos. I hand sharpen on those stones. And so I sent him a link to a video of me sharpening, and he immediately was like, oh, I'm sorry, and took down his comment. But I have two guys that want me to teach classes. Here's the thing, guys. I've done it before. I'm gonna start doing it again, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. So if you're local in San Diego, I will teach sharpening classes. It's not like I'm bogarting information. I'll teach you how to do it to a point. I give you enough information to be dangerous. And things like that. But I mean, big scope of things is it's still going to be more time effective for you to send stuff to me. Matt found that out. Matt was sharpening. Matt, if you're watching this, I'm sorry to call you out. Matt was sharpening a kitchen knife at his house, and he took hours and hours and hours to reprofile it on his KME, which you've heard me say, if I was going to recommend a sharpening system, it would probably be the KME, but I want longer stones. And so he was working on that knife, but he had his girlfriend's parents' knife that he was like, hey, can you just do this one for me real quick for them so that I don't have to mess around with it on that KME? Hey! And so Matt can tell you, Matt, how long had you messed around with the kitchen knife before you got it sharp? Or are you still messing with it? But at any rate, I took that knife that had no edge, and I think maybe it took me 10 minutes. 2.5 hours he'd worked. 2.5 hours of his life that he will never get back. And I took a knife that was in way worse shape and did it in, I don't remember, Matt, what was it, 10 minutes? 8 minutes, something like that? It was less than 15, I know that. I mean, I've almost completely reprofiled this edge while we've been talking. When they come in good, boy, when knives come in and they're ground well, custom knife factory grinds are, I need to do a video about that. Their knives are always sharpened very well. So, well, I mean, that's true. There's a lot of people out there that do their own sharpening, but the fact is that I've seen a lot of people do sharpening on videos and things like that, and I see how long it takes. Like I saw Birdshot do a video, and I don't know what I did to piss Birdshot off. He has not talked to me for a long time. And it takes a long time, and that's the problem with fixture systems. Sometimes they take longer than you want them to. What is going on with the brightness on this? Sorry, guys. Couldn't be avoided. It literally looked like they had rubbed it on a piece of ceramic. Like I could run my thumb down at problems. I don't have a problem with the stones. It's not the width. You're never, here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, the stones are too narrow. They're not. They're actually just about perfect because you're using the stone that you would use What happens is you get the big stones, pay a lot of money for them, and you only wear out one little spot, one little area. And yeah, you can flip it back and forth, but I can do the same thing on this. And I'm not paying for a stone that I'm not gonna fucking use. These are long enough. 6 inches is enough travel for anything. You get to about 8-10 inches of blade, you're reaching the outer limits of what you want to try and do and maintain that. No, it's not. It's not. But you know what is perfect for recurves? That one is. I don't very often do a lot of larger knives, but I do have the stones available to do it. And I can do the larger knives on here. I've never had a... Don't close that! Can't close that. It turns off the Wi-Fi. I'm doing a live feed. So... it's, I need the travel, not the width. I don't use the width. I'm only using one small portion. Even on this, I'm only using one small section of that stone. And I have to flip back and forth so I don't so I get a constant smooth wear. These, not so much. These diamond stones, not so much. But this isn't going to be a long live feed. I think I'm going to close it soon because it gets distracting when I'm doing live feeds. But yeah, that's the one. That's the one that kind of bugs. I have a knife here that I'm going to do a video about. I want to get it done soon. I'm going to try and do it today so I can get it back out to the customer like on Monday. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, here's the thing. You guys might find that coming soon, there's something that I'm working with David on that these stones might have an additional feature that allows you to do recurves. So David and I have been talking, and I'm going to make a hand mount so that I don't do some prototyping on that and then do some CAD files and see what we can get on that. So there's going to be some, hopefully some stuff that allows you guys to use these stones if you haven't. Once you close that door and interrupt the Wi-Fi, it gets spotty. Fine until you close that door, and then after that it's spotty. So I'm going to close on this. Guys, it's been 17 minutes anyway, and I got work to do. So not going to the forge tonight. I have a guy coming to talk to me about it, stuff for his employees. So there we go. Formed the burr all the length of it. So this is Chris's. These are Chris's knives, not Chris, Mike. So if he happens to be watching, Chris, yes, I am starting on them. And then Ben Marshall, if you happen to watch this later, Ben, your razor might not get done today. I got to soak stones, and depending on whether I don't want to try and do your knife if it's raining out here tomorrow, but those stones have got to soak at least 6 to 8 hours. So, all right, guys, that's it. Like I said, I did a video about the Wii Incisor Karambit, so I just have not finished editing and loading it. And like I said, I had a pretty bad headache, so I got a late start today. It's this weather when it's like this, when it's rainy and nasty, I wind up getting migraines. It's the change in the pressure. So, all right, guys, like I always say, be nice to each other, be good to each other, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I love you. I'll see you next time. Like I said, if you like videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Tell me why. And Patreon is always an option. Later, guys. Take it easy. I got work to do.